on, everyone? This is Lucas Ross Sports. Lucas Ross, your commentator. We continue our 2022 college football predictions. The Ohio State Buckeyes are up next. I'll give you my thoughts on this team, give you my official prediction for this team, and preview their schedule, and I will go from there. But before we do that, let's look back at 2021 for this Ohio State team. Looking back at 2021 for Ohio State, they went 11-2 overall. They lost, the last game of the season to Michigan, to miss out on the Big Ten championship for quite a while now. I mean, it seems like Ohio State went to the Big Ten championship every year. Then they end up winning the Rose Bowl. So, it wasn't really a terrible season for Ohio State. I think they have something to build on, though, coming into this year. Let's take a look at the offense and defensive rankings from last year. They were first on offense. That offense should be really good again this season. They should be one of the top offenses in the country entering 2022. Defensively, they were 38th in the defensive side of the ball. I think this defense is going to be a lot better and more dangerous than ever from last year as well. It got better as the season went on as well, so I'm expecting Ohio State to be good on that side of the ball. 45.7 points a game on the offensive side of the ball. That is a big number there for Ohio State. Defensively, 22.8 points on the defensive side of the ball, so really good stats from last year's Ohio State team. My thoughts on this Ohio State team, as I think they will be a college football playoff contender. I'm seeing this team being one of the most dangerous teams in the Big Ten Conference and also in the country. CJ Stroud is definitely a Heisman contender, and I could see this Ohio State team maybe making some noise for this upcoming season. Here's a schedule for Ohio State coming into this year, and there's that opening game on September 3rd against Notre Dame. This is perhaps college game day type game right here as well. Ohio State and Notre Dame going at it here in the non-conference. The non-conference schedule is not all that tough for Ohio State. Play Arkansas State and Toledo as well out of the non-conference. So, not a bad schedule overall for Ohio State. Notre Dame, though, is an interesting game. I think it's a first-half tight game, like I said. I don't really see Notre Dame competing in this one in the second half. I really don't see them in the first half. Or actually, I really don't see them in the first half competing probably. But second half, I think Ohio State, they will pull away. And I think they do beat Notre Dame here at home on September 3rd. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Buckeyes to win that one. And I also got them beating Arkansas State and Toledo. So those are three games there that Ohio State will win. And I got them starting out 3-0 on the season. Play Wisconsin here at home on September 24th. This is an interesting matchup a little bit. Wisconsin, has a lot of question marks this year. Kind of, not really high on this Wisconsin team as last year's team. And I don't think Wisconsin has what it takes to go on the road and defeat Ohio State. This is a home game for Ohio State as well. And I think this offense will really score a lot of points in this game. I think Wisconsin does score as well, but won't be enough. I think Ohio State does defeat Wisconsin as well in this game, and I think they start out 4-0 in the month of September. They get to the month of October now. They face Rutgers here at home. Shouldn't be a big game here in this game as well. It should be an easy win here for Ohio State against the Rutgers. The Rutgers are a team that I'm not really high on either this year. I think they have a lot of question marks as well. The talent is there for them, but I think it's just a lot of question marks with the Rutgers. Are they heading in the right direction or are they not? But I got Ohio State winning that game at home on October 1st against the Rutgers. Next game is on the road at Michigan State. So this is the first true test, I think, for Ohio State on this schedule. Michigan State was great last year. But let's face it, Ohio State blew out Michigan State last year. Could this be closer than it was last year? I'm expecting it to be a close one, but Michigan State will score some more points than last year as well. But with this game, and right here, I just think Ohio State is just too talented. And also, I think with Ohio State, I think the first half will be close, but second half, Michigan State, or actually Ohio State, will pull away. And CJ Stroud leads the Buckeyes to a win on the road at Michigan State. But I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I think it will be a first half type game. But I think the Buckeyes do win that one on the road against Michigan State. They get a bye week after that game, and that's it. And there's a game against Iowa here on October 22nd. This is perhaps the biggest test, I think, for Ohio State this season. But the good news is you get this game at home. You look at their Western, opponents this year. They play Iowa, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. So not a tough draw out of the Big Ten West this year. I mean, you get 2 of those games at home, so that's a good thing. This game right here, I think it's a first-half type game. Same with the Michigan State game, but with Ohio State being at home, I think they do defeat Iowa here, and I think they do improve to 7-0. And I think that's a second-half type game there for C.J. Stroud. I think this is where C.J. Stroud starts to really, people are looking at him now, and they think he's one of the most dangerous quarterbacks perhaps in the Big Ten this year. So I got the Buckeyes winning that one. Next game is on the road at Penn State. Not really high on Penn State this year. I think, they're a bowl team, but I really don't see Penn State, being all that talented in this game. I think it's a first-half type game. I think right here it's one of those first-half type games, but Ohio State, like I said, will pull away in the second half. I think they will do that in all their tough games on the schedule here. Same with Michigan State as well. I think they will pull away against Penn State here. And I think Ohio State does improve to 8-0. And they get to the month of November now to face Northwestern here on the road. It's a tough game here a little bit, but not really all that tough of a trap game. I think I could see this one, being close in the first half, but I don't really see Northwestern, competing at all. I don't really see that happening. I think Ohio State, they should go on the road and defeat Northwestern. Northwestern will be a better team this year, but not quite enough to defeat Ohio State. And I think the Buckeyes do win on the road at Northwestern here. And I got the Buckeyes winning that one, so they improve to 9-0. Next game is at home against Indiana. Indiana's a team that I'm not really high on this year as well. I think this game doesn't really even be all that close. I don't really see it being all that close. Looking back at last year, Ohio State really dominated Indiana, and I think it happens again this year. I think the Buckeyes do win by a blowout, and I think they do defeat Indiana here at home. Then there's that game on the road at Maryland. I think this is a trap game for Ohio State. Maryland should be better by this time. This is a veteran offense coming back this year. Defensively, they're going to be bringing quite a lot back as well. So overall, a really good amount of production coming back for Maryland. But like I said, with Ohio State, it's just too tough to call. I think this will go into the first half. Second half, though, Ohio State does pull away like they did in all the other road games. And I got Ohio State winning that one against Maryland on the road. So I got them winning that one. And I don't really see it being all that close in the second half. So I think Ohio State does win that one. And then there's that final game against Michigan at home. To be honest, in the first half, I think it will be close, but I don't think Michigan has what it takes to defeat Ohio State 2 years in a row. Like I said in my Michigan video, I think it will be a first half type game, but in the second half, I think Ohio State is just too dangerous, and I think second half they pull away, and I think they do defeat Michigan here. And I think Ohio State does better than they were last year. They're a more dangerous team than last year as well. And I think Ohio State will go 12-0 in 2022. Overall, there's some potential losses. I've seen, Maryland and Michigan State. I don't really see any other teams beating Ohio State, but 12-0 is a really good prediction for Ohio State. I don't really see anybody, defeating Ohio State this year. Not anybody on this schedule, anybody else that in the country can defeat this team. So 12-0 is my prediction for Ohio State. I'll continue to do more football predictions tomorrow and then Friday. Stay tuned here for more on Lucas Ross Sports.